Whenever you're ready, Dato.
Thank you. I think I'll just take it from here. I'm not here to defend race-based party, but we have to understand why the race-based party is here and how are we going to go about changing this race-based party. You see, initially, Dato Zaid has put it very clearly. Initially, we are very divided, and MCA, MIC, and UMNO is formed to preach the division, to come to an understanding. It's not to segregate the race and community further. 1969, there was a political tension with regard to DAP advocating the Singapore concept of no race, no privileges, etc. Whereas the Malays are feeling insecure. They feel that without the government assistance, the poverty lines is divided along race. That's why the new economic policy came into place, and new economic policies define poverty along racial lines. That was the beginning of the problems. And MCA comes in between, whereby we have to play the moderator. We have to overcome the nationalism. Then UMNO adalah Melayu, Melayu adalah UMNO, and the development is all along racial lines, etc. So that I also put it very correctly. Very often, if you go to the alternative media, the social media, people are picking on MCA. Why is MCA defending a race-based party? And I'm very glad that Zaid did not take this opportunity to bash or to use MCA as a punching bag. Unlike any other DAP politicians, they will take this opportunity to pick on MCA. And MCA, unfortunately, did not fight back. Or basically, we are so caught up with doing our work, representing the community. And when I say the community, is not the Chinese per se. We speak out for the Christians, we speak out for the Indians, we speak out for the other non-Malays and non-Islam. And I can tell you, in Malaysia, a lot of the issues are basically race and religious based. Because the administration, the executive, basically they are Malays. And I can tell you, after 1969, it was all race. And I have an Indian friend who was in the army. He was a doctor. He told me, when we were having discussion, and every time a meeting, we were talking about how to overcome Chinese rebellions, how to attack the Chinese, etc. And he was so pissed off, he decided to quit. So that was the scenario in 69, post-69. There was suppression of Chinese culture. We cannot even have lion dance. We cannot. And then, programs in TV, etc., all lots of limitation. That was the initial phase. It took us about 10 years to change that, to water down the race-based policies, the extremism, the suppression, etc. Those days, MCA, you just have to try to articulate and represent minority interests. If you are not careful, UMNO or PAS will pick out whatever you say, a sentence out of context, and they will whack you and call you a chauvinist. The way in the social media now, the oppositions are doing it on us, MCA. Whenever we say something, they will skew what we say, and there will be a bashing exercise. So, 70, the problem was overcome when Tunku Razali challenged Mahathir. Mahathir need to recapture the lost votes when PAS left Pakistan National. When Tunku Razali challenged Mahathir, Mahathir tries to win the Chinese support by allowing more rooms for Chinese culture, do away with the half Malay, half Mandarin announcement, etc., on TV, etc. So I don't want to go into the details because 15 minutes is not enough. Okay, and the next problem that we faced subsequently was after Iran Revolution, post-Iran Revolution. Religion came into play suddenly. Race is no longer the in thing. Those days you just talk about Malay language, Malay culture, you are the hero. Those days you pick on the Chinese culture, you pick on the Chinese as a punching bag, you will be overnight UMNO star. And similarly, in the 80s, I was an undergraduate then. I've seen how Anwar Ibrahim become a hero worship for Anwar Ibrahim and Ustaz Hadi. They are so radical in their speech. And you say, oh my God, every word there is punchline of kafir. Every word they will be talking about, they will be questioning about the constitution, Malaysian constitution, secular, man-made, we should uphold God-made law, etc. And some of it are just irrational. But you cannot speak up, because past them was revolutionary. The Iran revolutionary sentiment and culture have been censored. And I was the only Chinese or non-Muslim who wanted to attend, because I was a student leader then, I was a secretary general. And the kind of words, they are not apologetic, they are not mindful of your sensitivity, they are not afraid of breaching the law in their speech, etc. It's tantamount to provocation and incitement. And actually, until today, I live in trauma and phobia of what Ustaz Hadi has said openly. So I have never agreed to any form of cooperation with PAS, not because I don't trust Dr. Zhou, I don't trust the people behind and below them. So I think Dato Zaid knows what I'm talking about. So I used to say, Dr. Zhou, Khalid Samad, etc., these are roses, but we are worried of the thorns behind the roses. They have not given up their non-compromising, radical, fundamental approach. So I would be very happy if you question why can't MCA do away with race-based party. We start by doing away with Islamic party PAS, like what Dato Zaid said just now. Give me a clap on that, please. Dr. Zaid is very brave to say that. I think for Malay to say we don't want a race-based party, we don't want an Islamic party, you are either pengkhianat bangsa, or you are, you live and you are what? Apostate. So, I many students, the social media especially, they are very idealistic. We talk in terms of political rhetoric. We think it's so, we simplify politics, we make it so simplistic. But MCA is needed because to stand up for the minorities, not for the Chinese community. Because you can have a best of friend with a Malay friend, leaders, etc. I've been with them today, they put on jubah, atopia, tomorrow they go to Hard Rock Cafe and drink. Like what Dr. Zaid says, Dr. Zaid, many hypocrites, but we cannot label them as hypocrites, etc. Because peer pressure among Malays when it comes to race and religion is tremendous, unlike other community. So, ladies and gentlemen, I do not want to bore you with realities because it is very, it can be very dampening. It makes you feel very sad. But in Malaysia, we must first build up the base of people like Dr. Zaid, people like you, who one day, now you are so passionate in wanting a change, but when you go to the actual world, you do not compromise, you do not give up your idealism. You stand up against your race and religion for what is right. And we are not there yet, especially for the Malays. And I can tell you, Anwar Ibrahim can say whatever he like. When you put him as a prime minister, he will kowtow to the Malay Islam-centric in the end. The bottom line is not there yet. Many Malays, if you look at buku Jingga, etc., they still focus on race and religion first. But it is not highlighted because they know the trend is the non-Malays, is the Chinese that are going to give them votes. So they don't want to antagonize this sentiment. And we are still very trapped along racial, religious lines. And to start, they should not be doing away with Gerakan or MCA, SUPP, etc. To start with, PAS should take the lead. You give up your Islamic struggle, you can do it without having to use it, politicize Islam. Because when you politicize Islam, you are bringing impurity to the religion. Similarly, you can help the Malays genuinely when it's due, but you do not politicize Malay to enrich yourself. I think if we one day we have this conscience, and if politicians can stand up and get support like that, Dato Zaid stands up and get the support and placed in a position of public office, instead of people who just posture, people who just make use of MCA as a punching bag, despite the fact that MCA has done tremendous groundwork. We are the only party that actually goes to the ground. Whenever there are problems, people come and took a look for us. Whenever they face discrimination, etc., administrative discrimination, they come to us. And we are so caught up with this problem that DAP cleverly label us as a welfare party. But without us, the community will disintegrate the way the Indian community disintegrate. Because the Indian MIC do not have the network that we have. They do not have the resources that we have. And in MCA, we do not talk about how to enrich ourselves. In fact, as a state assemblyman for 3 terms, I'm not allowed to do business, because then I'll be competing with a fellow businessman. And they'll say it's unfair competition. Whereas I'm not a Malay politician. You are supposed to enrich yourself, otherwise you're not a good leader. So that is the difference, the political difference. So ladies and gentlemen, it is very difficult, it is a very hard journey for an MC to serve and to continue. Because firstly, if you say you are all educated, you are free, you do not depend on the party, etc. You can say, oh, we don't want an MCA. But on the ground, we started by having to serve the people who do not know how to speak Bahasa Malaysia. People who have to bribe their way to get things done. Basic things, not about rights, administrative, etc. And we are there whenever there is a need by the community. And we are so caught up with all these problems. And in those days, welfare work is being done by the Chinese guilds and associations. Now the Chinese guilds and associations are being used by businessmen as a platform to promote themselves, so that they can push leaders to facilitate their business convenience, etc. And MACC is here. So I got many things to say, but I don't like to say something halfway and then I cannot finish. So I better hand it over to the MC and hope that you can give me some provocative questions for me to elaborate further what I want to say. Thank you.